Listen to me, there's a difference between living average and living in beast mode. Average waits, average complains, average blames. But beast mode D, boss mode doesn't wait for permission. Boss mode sets the pace, sets the tone, sets the standard. And the truth is, if you don't set the standard for your life, someone else will set it for you. When you talk about beast mode, you have to understand this one truth. It's not about how you feel, it's about what you do when those feelings show up. Too many people want success only when it feels good. They want to grind when the energy is high, when the crowd is cheering, when the weather is perfect. But the real test, the real measure of greatness, it's what you do when your body screams enough, when your mind whispers, when your heart says, just take it easy. That's the battlefield where BM mode is revealed. Because let's be real, feelings will lie to you. Feelings will trick you into thinking you're tired when you've got more left. Feelings will tell you it's too cold, too hot, too hard, too painful. Feelings will convince you to stay a day in bed when you should be up chasing your dream. And if you live by your feelings, you'll never set the standard. You'll always settle for less. BS mode ignores feelings and locks into effort. It's about discipline. It's about deciding, no matter how I feel, I will show up. I will do the work. Think about the lion. The lion isn't the biggest animal in the jungle. It's not the tallest, it's not the fastest, but when the lion wakes up, it doesn't matter what it feels like, it hunts. The lion has trained itself to act regardless of comfort. That's BST mode D. You don't wait for the right moment. You create the moment by pushing beyond the limits of how you feel. People who make history, people who leave legacies, they all had one thing in common. They didn't depend on feelings, they depended on effort. Champions show up whether it's raining, snowing, or the sun is shining. Champions don't care if they're tired. They don't care if they're sore. They don't care if no one is watching. They know effort will always outlast emotion. Here's the truth. The gap between average and great is not talent, it's consistency and effort. Average lets feelings dictate the day. Greatness puts feelings aside and executes anyway. Every time you push past the moment when you wanted to stop, every time you add one more rep, make one more call, write one more page, you're teaching yourself that effort rules, not feelings. That's how you become unstoppable. So stop telling yourself you need to. Feel motivated. Stop waiting for inspiration to hit. Stop looking for the perfect moment. You don't need the perfect moment, you need relentless effort. Boss mode doesn't care about perfect conditions. It thrives in imperfect ones. It thrives in pain. It thrives in fatigue. It thrives in chaos. Because when everyone else quits, God, he keeps going. That's the standard. That's how you separate yourself. Anybody can work when it feels good, but only Biast mode shows up when it doesn't. And once you master that, once you train yourself to give effort over feelings, there won't be a challenge in this world that can defeat you. When you step into BST mode, you stop waiting for someone else to set the tone. You stop waiting for someone else to create the energy, to build the atmosphere, to decide the pace. You become the one who dictates the rhythm. BST mode means you don't just walk into a room and adjust. You walk into a room and transform it. You set the tone for how things are going to move, how people are going to think, how the energy is going to flow. And here's the reality: if you don't set the standard, the environment will set it for you. And the environment will always pull you down to average if you let it. Think about it. Every day you're surrounded by voices that want you to settle, to relax, to stay comfortable. You've got coworkers who say, "Why are you working so hard? Nobody else is." You've got friends who laugh at your grind because it makes them uncomfortable about their own. You've got a culture that celebrates shortcuts and instant results. If you don't make a decision to set the tone, you'll absorb theirs. And their tone is mediocrity. That's why BA mode people are different. They don't let the room define them, they define the room. They bring an energy so strong, so consistent that people can't ignore it. When you wake up early, when you attack your day with discipline, when you walk into your job, your class, your business with intensity, you change the atmosphere. Your presence alone tells everyone else, this is the standard now. This is how we're moving. And here's what's powerful. When you set the tone, others rise to it. Your grind challenges their excuses. Your focus exposes their distractions. Your consistency puts pressure on their laziness. That's leadership without even trying. That's influence at its purest form. Biestimati is contagious. It spreads. One person who refuses to lower their standard can raise the standard for an entire group. But it starts with a decision that says, I'm not adapting to mediocrity anymore. I'm not lowering my intensity because others are comfortable. I'm not dimming my light so they feel better about their shadows. From now on, I set the tone. Once you decide that, you take ownership of your environment. You stop complaining about how negative the world is, and you start being the force that changes it. Don't miss this. Setting the tone doesn't mean being loud or flashy. It means being consistent. It means showing up early when others are late. It means being prepared when others are winging it. It means staying focused when others are distracted. The way you live becomes the thermostat that controls the environment, not the thermometer that simply reacts to it. So the question is simple. Are you letting the environment define you, or are you defining it? Are you following the energy in the room, or are you creating it? Biestimati means you decide. Biestimati means you set the tone, and once you do, nobody around you will ever look at average the same way again. Sacrifice is the language of greatness, and Biestimati understands that fluently. You can't talk about reaching the top without talking about what you have to give up to get there. Everybody wants success, but not everybody is willing to pay the price. And the truth is, the price is high. The reason so many people stay average is because they're not ready to let go of the things that hold them back. Biestimati is different. It knows that every gain comes with a cost, and it's willing to pay that cost over and over again. You can't be great and comfortable at the same time. That's the truth nobody wants to hear. You can't stay up late partying every night and still expect to perform at the highest level. You can't spend all your time scrolling on your phone and expect your dream to magically happen. You can't invest your energy in distractions and still think you'll have enough left over to build something powerful. Sacrifice is what separates dreamers from doers. Dreamers want the result but avoid the sacrifice. Doers embrace the sacrifice because they know it's the only path to the result. Biestimati means you're willing to cut off anything that slows you down. Sometimes that means cutting off people who don't support your vision. Sometimes it means cutting off habits that give you comfort but steal your growth. Sometimes it means cutting off hours of sleep because your dream needs that extra time. And it hurts. Sacrifice isn't easy. It was never supposed to be. If it were easy, everyone would do it. But that pain, that discomfort, that temporary loss, it's the investment you make for a future nobody else will have. Think about the athletes who get up at 4 a.m. to train. Think about the entrepreneurs who sacrifice weekends and holidays to build their businesses. Think about the students who stay up all night studying when everyone else is sleeping. That's sacrifice. That's what it takes. And those sacrifices create a future that people who took the easy road will never touch. You've got to understand something. Greatness demands an exchange. For every level you want to reach, there's something you have to leave behind. If you want to go higher, you can't carry the same weight. You can't carry laziness, procrastination, excuses, and still climb. You've got to drop it, even if it feels comfortable, even if it feels safe. Biestimati sacrifices comfort today for freedom tomorrow. And when you make those sacrifices, people around you won't understand. They'll call you crazy. They'll say you're doing too much. They'll laugh because you don't live like them. But years later, those same people will be clapping for you. And they'll be asking you how you did it. And the answer will be simple. I sacrificed what they wouldn't, Ta. So stop asking if it's supposed to hurt. It is. Stop waiting for the process to get easier. It won't. The question isn't whether sacrifice is required. The question is whether you're willing to give it. Because Biestimati knows what most people don't greatness cost, but the reward is worth every ounce of pain. Consistency is the real test of Biestimati. Anybody can go hard for a day, a week, even a month. Anybody can get excited when the vision is fresh, when the goal feels new, when the hype is there. But consistency is about what you do long after the excitement fades, long after the feelings cool down, long after the world stops clapping for you. Consistency is where champions are made and pretenders get exposed. Bod isn't about a moment, it's about a lifestyle. It's about showing up the same way, with the same fire over and over again until your results can't be denied. People often confuse motivation with consistency. Motivation will get you started, but it won't keep you going. Motivation is a spark. Consistency is the fire that burns day and night. When you're consistent, People stop questioning your commitment because your actions prove it every single time. Your reputation starts building itself. They don't even need to hear your words. They just look at your work, your grind, your results, and they know you're serious. That's the kind of respect consistency earns. Think about it. The gym is full in January, but by March, it's empty again. Why? Because most people live off feelings, not consistency. They want quick results, and the moment it doesn't happen fast enough, they quit. But BME doesn't quit. Motivational says, I'm not here for fast, I'm here for forever. Consistency doesn't ask for immediate gratification. It's about planting seeds and trusting that, with time and effort, the harvest will come. And let's be real, consistency is hard because it's boring. It's waking up every day and doing the same thing, even when it doesn't look like it's working. It's practicing the same drill, studying the same material, repeating the same routine. Most people can't handle that because they want excitement. But greatness lives in the routine. Champions become champions not because they did something once, but because they did it 1,000 times until it became second nature. Consistency is also what builds trust. If people know you'll show up no matter what, they can count on you. If your teammates, your family, your clients, your community know that you are reliable, they will follow you, support you, and invest in you. Inconsistency kills opportunities, but consistency opens doors you never imagined. Here's the truth: your reputation is not built in one day. It's built every day. Every rep, every session, every sacrifice adds up. Biodo understands that small wins stack into big victories. It's not about perfection, it's about persistence. You don't have to be the best every day, but you have to show up every day. That's how you separate yourself. That's how you build a name that speaks before you even enter the room. So don't underestimate the power of doing it again and again and again. Consistency is the quiet killer of mediocrity. It's the weapon that average people ignore, but champions master. Beast Mode is not about being unstoppable for a moment. It's about being unstoppable for a lifetime. And that only happens when consistency becomes your standard. Pressure is the stage where true character steps out, and Biasmamon thrives under that spotlight. Anybody can look strong when life is smooth, when money is flowing, when doors are opening, when the crowd is cheering. But the real test comes when everything is on the line, when the weight feels too heavy, when people are doubting you, and when failure seems like the only option staring you in the face. That's when pressure shows you who you really are. You can't fake it under pressure. You can't pretend under fire. The mask falls off and your true character is exposed. Pressure breaks the weak, but it builds the strong. It's like heat to metal. It will either melt it down or refine it into steel. That's why BS Mao doesn't run from pressure. It runs toward it. It understands that every great opportunity comes dressed in the clothing of pressure. Every big dream comes with moments where you feel like quitting. But instead of folding, BMOD embraces the challenge because it knows pressure is a privilege. Pressure means you're in the game. Pressure means you're carrying something valuable. Pressure means you're moving towards something that matters. Think about the greatest athletes, the greatest leaders, the greatest entrepreneurs. They became legends because of how they responded under pressure. They didn't let the moment control them. They controlled the moment. When the clock was running out, when the deal was about to collapse, when the storm was raging, they stayed calm, they stayed focused, they stayed locked in. That's character. That's the strength that pressure reveals. Here's the thing: pressure doesn't change you, it reveals you. If you've been lazy, undisciplined, and unfocused behind the scenes, pressure will expose it. But if you've been grinding, preparing, staying consistent, pressure will showcase it. Pressure will let the world see the work you've been putting in when no one was watching. That's why Baas Mode people train in silence, prepare when nobody cares, and discipline themselves daily, because when the big moment comes, they're ready. And make no mistake, pressure is uncomfortable. It will test your patience. It will test your endurance. It will test your faith. It will make you question if you're built for this. But every time you choose to push through, every time you refuse to fold, you build another layer of strength in your character. You stop being shaken by small storms because you've been forged in bigger ones. Pressure is not your enemy. It's your proving ground. It's the gym where your inner strength gets built. Without pressure, you stay soft. Without pressure, you never discover how much you're truly capable of. BST Maudi lives in the mindset that pressure doesn't defeat you, it defines you. It doesn't push you backward. It launches you forward. It doesn't destroy you. It shapes you into something unbreakable. So the next time life turns up the heat, don't run. Don't fold. Don't complain, smile at it. Lean into it. Tell yourself, this is where my character shines. Because when you master pressure, when you thrive under it, nothing and no one can defeat you. Legacy is bigger than trophies, and Basmaude knows it. See, trophies are shiny, they look good on the shelf, they get people's attention for a moment, but they collect dust. They fade. People forget who won last year, who broke the record, who had the spotlight. But legacy doesn't fade. Legacy outlives you. Legacy is what people feel when your name is mentioned long after you're gone. Legacy is the story your actions tell when you're no longer here to explain them. Basmaude isn't chasing trophies, it's chasing something eternal. The problem with trophies is they feed the ego, but legacy feeds the world. A trophy says, I did it. Legacy says, I made it possible for others to do it too. A trophy hangs on a wall. A legacy builds people, changes lives, shifts cultures. Basmaude doesn't stop at personal success. It wants to create impact. It wants to leave a mark so deep that nobody can erase it. Think about it. Every legend you admire left a legacy. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't just make speeches. He left a legacy of courage and justice. Muhammad Ali didn't just win fights. He left a legacy of strength and conviction. Kobe Bryant didn't just win championships, he left a legacy of work ethic and Mamba mentality. That's what Basmaude is about. Not just winning for yourself, but creating a standard so high that generations after you can stand on it. And here's the truth. Legacy is built daily. It's in the choices you make, the sacrifices you commit to, the way you treat people, the consistency you show, the pressure you overcome. Every action is a brick, and every brick builds the structure of your legacy. That's why Basmaude doesn't play around with shortcuts. It knows every corner you cut weakens the foundation of your legacy, and a weak legacy won't last. Legacy also forces you to think bigger than yourself. Basmaude doesn't just ask, how can I win? It asks, how can my win inspire others to rise? It asks, what will my children inherit from my decisions today? It asks, will my life matter when my trophies are gone? That's the power of legacy. It makes you live with purpose. And the crazy thing is, when you chase legacy, trophies often come out as a byproduct. You'll win awards, medals, recognition. But those are just milestones on the journey, not the destination. Basmaude keeps its eyes on the bigger picture of the story that will be told when the noise is over, when the lights go out, when you're no longer here to defend your name. That story is your legacy, so stop chasing applause, stop chasing temporary validation. Start building something that lasts. Start planting seeds in people, in communities, in movements. Because trophies can be stolen, lost, or forgotten, but legacy cannot be erased. Basmaude is about building a life so powerful, so impactful, so unshakable, that long after you're gone, the world will still say, they set the standard. They left us better than they found us.